So this story is about the time when I got robbed. Suddenly, somebody is walking up while I was checking off. I saw them walk up and then they were very polite. Came up and said, "Good night." So we all looked up. And when we looked up, we saw this person in a hoodie and face covered. And then he pulled out a gun and pointed at us. So he was coming down to the bathroom and the security said to him, "Don't go down there. There's a robbery going on." Apparently, one of the chefs that worked for us was also involved. Yes. So it was an inside job thing, clearly. I was really paranoid to be there late at night.
It's your girl Mel. Welcome back to my channel, and Una already knows, so we got mommy with us, so it's another story time with mommy. Story time with mommy. So today is going to be a combination of mom telling you stuff and my sister Majumi, because something very drastic happened, and we are in the year of 2016. Alright, so we are in the year of 2016 and mommy is just going to jump right into it.
Disclaimer: the stories that I'm going to tell in this series are my experience, my truth, and my point of view over the past 38 years that I have been in Jamaica. And it's in no way intended to slander any person, the culture of Jamaica, or the island as a whole.
Yeah, hi and good morning. We are still currently in Montego Bay,
as you can see,
and kind of busy. So I was thankful that actually this year would have a story that would have been told by my daughter. But first things first, well, 2016 otherwise was not really eventful. You know, because our life in the marina, I said, in the restaurant was normal. Of course, one thing stuck out big time. On the 6th of June 16, Yosha's second daughter was born, which actually was conceived while they were at my birthday family reunion. So that was kind of special. And then first Majumi went over to their house and took care of the baby for a little while, because you see, Carrie had to, after the 6 weeks, she had to start work again, because you know, in America there is nothing really like parent time or paid parent time or something. So after 6 weeks she had to start work again, and then Majumi went over for a few weeks, and then it was my turn. Of course, I was happy to meet my new grandchild and take care of her, and it's like her bigger sister was there, of course, as well, and so basically in the daytime Yosha would go work, Carrie would go work, so I was alone with those two wonderful little babies. But then I realized, my God, I'm getting too old for this. You know, I raised 4 children, I raised some more children basically on the side, and I realized, boy, this is really hard work. How did I do it all these years? You know? And I remember one day especially, I was feeling sick. I got actually the same evening I got a fever. So I didn't feel well, and you know how babies are, you know, they feel when something is not okay. So especially that day, Anaya, the little one, was not, she didn't want to sleep, she didn't want to rest, she was like a little bit grouchy the whole day, and I was like, in the afternoon, just before everybody came home, I was at the end of my ropes, trust me. I sat on the sofa, I was crying. I was like, oh my God, I can't take this. And I was really, really glad when everybody came home around 4 o'clock. Well, Carrie always would come late. She only would come home like by 8 o'clock or after, little after 8, but Yasha would come 4 o'clock. So when he came in, and I told him, you know what, today I'm not feeling good at all, and I was sitting down and I just cried. And he looked at me like, what happened, and stuff like that. So that was one day where I really had a hard time dealing with those. And they were nice. I mean, not any troublesome children or anything. Just normal little, yeah, well, Deja at the time was about 3. And Anaya the baby, and normal children. But it was just too much for me that day. So I realized, really, boy, you're getting old, Sabina. So I spent some weeks in America, and then we came back home, and our life was going on. Melody, of course, was in Germany at the time. So November came, and I always, by the end of November, I always went to Germany on the Christmas market, as I have told previously. So of course I made my way back to Germany. Glad to see my wash belly. Because I mean, were you in Jamaica that year at all? I don't think so, right?
I'm not sure.
I don't think she came to Jamaica from the family reunion in 2015. Up to that day I didn't see her, so I was happy to be there. Our usual routine, actually I did the wooden boards and the cups with the names, and Melody would help me out on the weekends, because on the weekends I couldn't do it on my own, too much work. And then what did you do the other days?
Well, on the weekends I could, because I didn't have classes either. And during the week I actually started on the same Christmas market, like just 2 stalls further from Mom. I started working in a wool stall. So they sold like a bunch of different wool articles, like actual alpaca wool and
real
sheep
nice
wool,
yeah,
and stuff like that.
Nothing plastic, pure,
yeah,
100% wool.
So I was doing that during the week, and actually I stopped going to school at that point. Well, not stopped, but you know, I did a little deal with my friend, say, hey, if we're getting any homework and stuff, just let me know, and she would send them over to me so I could still end up do them, because I was basically absent from classes because I was working the whole time. And that was like from the end of November till the end of December, so around a month. And
about five and a half weeks.
Yeah,
always.
So yeah, that was pretty much all I did in that time.
So we were very busy, and I mean, working on that Christmas market was really straining, because we would start like 11 o'clock in the morning, and in the week we would close 9 o'clock in the evening, or on the weekends, Friday, Saturday at 10. Now imagine, we were standing practically outside, because the stalls were some little wooden buildings and open on 3 sides. And we were in the outside temperatures the whole day. So I mean, sometimes it could be really, really rough. Was it that year that we had they call it blitz ice, which is lightning ice, which is like from basically really 1 minute to the next, the temperature dropped that fast and deep that every wet place on the roads also freezes over in no time. And I remember it's one Sunday we came there about our usual 11 o'clock, and about 12 o'clock you could hear over the radio, because we always had radio running at the time, over the radio, oh, all citizens in Bielefeld, be aware, there is this blitz ice happening right now, so please, please, please do not go on the road unless you have to. They actually stopped all buses, all taxis. I mean, there was literally no traffic for about 4 hours that day, because everything was like icy. Even our place where we were, when you walked out of the stall and would walk over, you could slide. I mean, you could practically get out your how you call schlittschuh, your ice skaters,
Yeah.
and practically go over there. That, I mean, it was really dangerous. In a matter of 20 minutes, again I heard it over the radio, about 20-30 accidents happen where people just start to slide off. So that was like, can you imagine now sitting in that stall with that cold? We had a little oven in it, of course, because otherwise you could not do it. But boy, I'm telling you, cold, cold, cold. So that was part of the Christmas market that could be getting really hard. Now, in December, beginning of December, one day, suddenly I get a phone call very, very early in the morning. And as Mayumi was telling you,
No, it's coming now.
as Mayumi will tell you, something happened in Jamaica. And well, I'm giving over to Mayumi right now. Und dann müssen wir hinten ja noch ein
Hey guys, it's been a while since I've been a part of story time, but this is my turn again now. So this story, as Mom probably mentioned already, is about the time when I got robbed, or me and our employees got robbed at the cafe. It was December 16th? No, what am I talking about? December 9th, 2016. That's it, yes. December 9th, 2016. It was a Friday night. At that point, we usually did payouts, as in salaries, Friday nights for the employees. We're usually the last people there on Fridays because our business, I guess, we're the ones who usually last the longest there. Even the bar used to close earlier than us at that point. So when the employees would be cleaning up in the kitchen and stuff, I would be outside checking off the cash and doing the hours, checking up the hours, how many hours the employees worked, and calculating everything that needed to be calculated. So for this night now, I even had a couple friends over. It was 2 friends. We were there having a little drink. Didn't drink really much, but having a little drink and joking around, just hanging out. So while the employees were cleaning, I was there checking off the sales for the day and checking the hours, what the employees should be getting, what salaries they should be getting, when suddenly somebody walked up behind my 2 friends. So we were on a what do you call it, a bench with a table in the middle, you know, those, I don't know what you call them, but it's a bench. It's the long benches with the long seats on both sides. So my friends were on this side and I was on this side. So we have the small gate here. The cafe kitchen is right next to us here. Ocean is on that side. So you can enter from here, you can enter from here, and you can enter from there. So suddenly somebody is walking up while I was checking off. I saw them walk up and then they were very polite. Came up and said, "Good night." So we all looked up. And when we looked up, we saw this person in a hoodie and face covered. And then he pulled out a gun and pointed at us. And then, I don't even remember what he said. I think he said, "Nobody move." And then he was basically looking who else was there. So the employees that we had 2 chefs and a waitress. The guy was saying to everyone that was inside the kitchen to come out. And told the two guys, the chefs, to basically lay on the floor, and then the waitress, he didn't say anything to her, he just told her to, no, actually the waitress was inside sitting on the floor. That's what she was doing, yeah. So he came around, another guy came, he gave the guy the gun. So the guy was pointing the gun at us, and I had my knapsack on the table, and then I had this purse where we kept the money in on the table as well, and the pouch that the waitress uses to collect the money, I had it on the table as well. And I had my phone, and my friends had their phones in their hands. So when the other guy was pointing the gun at us, the first guy comes, takes my bag. Luckily there wasn't much in there. Takes my bag, and before he got to do that though, I was smart enough to slide the purse with the funds between my legs on the floor, slide my phone between my legs and on the floor onto the purse, luckily, because if it fell on the ground they would have heard it, and the pouch with the money, I slid it between my legs as well. That didn't fall on the floor though, but I purposely didn't do that because I didn't want to make it that obvious. So those three were basically gone. I had also a little, what do you call it, a man purse, but for me. I guess it's just a regular purse. Yeah, I had that around me because that's where I usually keep my phone in, because I have left my phone on tables a couple times and they were stolen. So I started carrying this bag where my phone could fit in, so I wouldn't leave it anywhere. So yeah, so he took my bag. Then he took my other bag from me, pushed it in the bag. He took my friend's phone, and I had paid one of the chefs already. I had paid him already, and I was about to pay the other one, but because I saw what was going on, I kind of, like I said, secured what needed to be secured. So when he took my bag, my two bags, he took the two phones from my friends. He went to the chefs. He searched their pockets. The one that I paid, he took that money. They went inside the kitchen to look. Well, he went inside the kitchen to look to see if there was anything to take, but there wasn't anything. Only a tablet that we used point of sale on. And then we had a laptop, because we had a little work area outside at the front, and we always had a laptop there, and they took the laptop. So they didn't really get much. They just got two gadgets, a tablet, and the laptop. But they didn't get any money other than the money from the one employee. So when they took all of that, the other guy came, pointing the gun at us, turning, making sure that he has everyone in sight, and then they went through the small gate. So they came from this end where the ocean is, where you can park as well and stuff, and then they went out to the small gate, small entrance that we have right at our cafe there. When they left, all I could think about was how extremely upset I was. I was so upset that I started to tremble. And when I mean upset, I wasn't scared. I wasn't afraid for my life or anything, because at one point when it was only the one guy, I was even thinking about how I could tackle him to get the gun out of his hand, because he came right next to me, and if he came right next to me with one hand with the gun and trying to take something, there's 6 of us there, and if I tried something and everybody chipped in and did whatever needed to be done, that person would have not survived. But because he came with another person, I said, you know what, this is a more dangerous situation, let me leave it. So I was so upset. I started trembling. Even my voice got, trembly when I was speaking. I was like, even my, when you're cold and your mouth starts shivering. That's how upset I was, because in my mind I was like, these a-holes come here, we here working our asses off, and they just want easy, quick money. And I was so pissed. So pissed. Anyways, after that, I called the police straight away. Told them, because there's a park right next to us as well. It's called Carter Park. They usually play football and stuff like that over there. It's not really a park, but they call it Carter Park. But it's more just like a field over there. They usually play football over there or do some kind of sports day and stuff over there. I saw when they actually ran through there. Yeah, so I called the police, told them that we were robbed. Yeah, so they came within about 10 minutes. Or I think 5 minutes. So yeah, in 5 minutes they came. I was very surprised that they came so quick. This was, by the way, after 10 at night. So, yeah, so the police came within about 5 minutes, and I was surprised that they came so quick because usually they take way longer. But they came and asked us what happened, and we explained it to them. Well, I explained it mostly to them because I had everything basically recorded in my mind, every movement, every detail, everything. Then they asked us to go to the station to make a formal report so that they could have it on file. We also had a camera there. Well, we had a couple cameras, but one was pointing to where we were. But due to where it was placed and the angle, you couldn't really see much of the persons because it was a bit dark, even though it had the night vision, but it was a bit dark. And like I said, they were masked. You couldn't see anything. You could just look at the clothes that they had on, and that was it basically. And all of this actually happened within I checked the camera, it happened in like 2 minutes. So they were in and out within 2 minutes. Like I said, it took less than 2 minutes, but being in the situation, it felt so long. I felt like it was like maybe 20-30 minutes. But you know, it's all that adrenaline rush going on and seeing what's going on and being in the situation. And you know, anytime you're in a situation that you're uncomfortable with, it usually seems longer than how it actually is. Anyways, so we all went down to the station and we made our reports. Of course, before we did all of that, after I called the police, I called Mom, told her what happened, because she was actually in Germany. Yes, she was actually in Germany when all of this happened. So this was after 10 at night. So after 10 at night would be after 5 in the morning in Germany. No, it would be 6 hours winter time, after 4 in the morning. So I called her, waking her up out of her sleep, telling her what happened. And yeah, and then like I said, the police came, and then we went to the station, made our reports, and basically I told all the staff that whatever needs to be dealt with has to be dealt with on the next day, because you know, all that will happen. We'd have to just go home, try to relax, and start the new day in a hopefully better condition. Anyways, nothing really came out of that afterwards. We never found those two guys who actually did the robbery. But what we did find out is apparently one of the securities that used to work there basically knew about it. I don't know if he was involved per se, as in part of it, trying to get something out of it, but he knew about it because apparently he said to somebody there that had a shop there that was actually they had a shop at the craft part, and they were coming down to the bathroom. So we have our area, which is the restaurant, the bathrooms are in the middle, and then you have the bar and the craft area to the end. So he was coming down to the bathroom, and the security said to him, "Don't go down there, there's a robbery going on." So the person didn't bother coming down and went back. Further down, we got to find out as well that apparently one of the chefs that worked for us was also involved. Yes, was also involved, because turned out that he basically bragged about it to somebody that was working at the bar there. and they told one of my employees, which told me. So it was an inside job thing, clearly. That chef didn't work much longer after that. Not because of that situation, because that story actually came out after he stopped working. But yeah, it was an inside job, and for a while after that, I mean, few months well after that, I was really paranoid to be there late at night. So I would try to get stuff done early and get out of there, because at that point, I wouldn't say I was, yeah, well, it was scared, because, you know, I didn't want to be in that situation again. Sorry, let me give my son some ice. I didn't want to be in that situation again. Not that I feared for my life or anything, but being in a situation like that, it makes you uncomfortable, and of course it makes you a bit scared as well, because losing valuables, especially money, if you don't really have it that much, and then not knowing that it's not even you alone that's losing that money, the employees lost money as well. I mean, I did give them back something. Well, the one that they took the money from was actually the one that was involved, so he actually even got more money, because I'm assuming that he got back that money. Yes, so I was quite uncomfortable with being down there in the evenings for a few months. Well, but after a while it did fade away, and I basically wasn't down there in the evenings that much anymore either, so it kind of faded away. But I was more aware of what was going on, and I made sure, checked off whatever sales inside now, and made sure the staff wasn't there either, so they couldn't see what I was doing and where I was putting what and whatever. And yeah, basically that was the story of me being robbed at our cafe. Not a nice situation. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my very frequent interrupted story time. But yes, I will see you guys next time. Well, I don't know next time, but another time. All right, bye guys.
Okay, that was Mayumi's story of the robbery. May I add to it, she didn't mention that apparently we heard afterwards as well that these two guys had been lingering under the building, because remember we told you already, the whole building is on stilts, not very high. I mean, they are going like maybe to here, but you have all the room underneath, and apparently these guys had been hiding under the building, kind of listening in and watching and what was going on. And when they realized the bar was closed, most of the shops out front were closed, we alone were there still, that's when they hit. And somebody told us, oh yeah, I did see them under there. And it's like, okay, why wouldn't you even warn somebody? You know, because I don't think it is a very usual occurrence that two people are hiding under the place in the night. So, I mean, again, to verify what Mayumi said, it was definitely an insider job. We do know partly who was involved. Nothing ever came out of it, of course. Nobody, you know, the police doesn't really care. For them it's like, yeah, one more of those. We were just happy that nobody got hurt, because I mean, you know, some people are trigger crazy, you know. What we get to understand later on too, you know, grapevine in Port Antonio is a big thing. So you do not hear right away, but sometimes weeks or months later. What we got to understand is that that weapon wasn't loaded. Thank God. You know, but of course at that point in time you wouldn't know. So Mayumi was really, even when I came back from Germany, she was still pretty traumatized. You know, she was very uncomfortable and nervous. And luckily, like she said, with time she got over it. But it was a really heavy situation for her. So guys, this is it for today. Story time again.
Yeah, so guys, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, please. We're almost at 40k. Help your girl out to reach 40k, and yeah, we will see you in our next video.
We will.
Bye.